Welcome on into Sports Memo Today. It's a Tuesday at 2:30, and you don't want to be anywhere but here getting actionable information in 30 minutes or less. We do it every Tuesday and Thursday right here on Sports Memo Today. I'm your host, Dan Alexander. Happy to be with you as always, especially on our $2 Tuesday edition where we get you the $5 triple play. And two of those handicappers going to be joining us on the show here today. A triumphant return for two of my favorite guests that we've had on here on Sports Memo Today. Batting leadoff, we're going to have Ross Benjamin talking a little college basketball and NBA action tonight. Two sports he's been doing pretty darn well in, and you can grab his $2 play on the hardwood for college basketball this evening. We'll talk about his run coming up here in just a few moments. And then the spark plug himself will be shutting down the show. Joe D'Amico, he's going to be talking a little NFC Championship game. My Philadelphia Eagles hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Which way is he falling in that game? It's been a pretty good NFL run. Joe been seeing it great since the playoffs have started on the gridiron. And then we're also going to talk a little NBA tonight with our friend Joe D'Amico. And as we promised, it's actionable information in 30 minutes or less. So let's get right into it with our first guest, Ross Benjamin. You can find him over at SportsMemo, sm.buzz/RB. And Ross, always great to see your smiling face, brother. How you been since we talked last?
Hey, man, it's real good, Dan. Thanks for asking. Coming off a 4-0 day yesterday at Sports Memo, so feeling pretty good. And hopefully we can give you a couple of winners here today again. And I'm glad I'm going first because my buddy Joe D'Amico, he's a hard act to follow.
That's what I figured as well. I mean, Ross, don't sell yourself short. You bring the gas when you come on as well, but I never want to put somebody, going up into the batter's box after Joe D'Amico comes on. So I got your back, Ross. So, hey, let's talk about some hardwood action and start in the NBA tonight. This one, an interesting handicap. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Been seeing some things on social media. Had some folks talking about this on Wager Talk today earlier. It's a 740 tip as the Knicks are looking to put an end to their 4-game skid. They host the Cleveland Cavs tonight. However, they're going to be doing so as they're lined as a dog at home. We're looking at the Cavs currently around a 3.5-point favorite. What do you think? This home dog may be barking a little bit, Ross?
I think so. I think the value here is on the home dog, and I'm sure that Cleveland will get public action here because, as you just alluded to, the Knicks lost their last 4. Cleveland, on the other hand, a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde here, Dan. I mean, the Cavaliers have gone an excellent 20-5 at home, but on the road, they're just 9-14 straight up and 8-13 against the spread. So it's not like they've been a good road team, let alone putting them in a position where they're not a sizable road favorite, but 3.5 is 3.5. If it gets down to a close game, it's certainly going to help the underdog in that regard. You mentioned the Knicks. Not only have they lost their last 4, but they failed to cover on each occasion. And again, that's why I think that we'll see public action favor Cleveland in the spot. The Cavaliers, even though the Knicks are 0-4 straight up in ATS in their last 4, it's not like the Cavaliers have been world beaters of late, going just 7-8 in their last 15 games. They are coming off a 114-102 home win versus Milwaukee. However, Cleveland is 0-4 straight up in their last 4 games following a win in their previous contest, and they haven't won back-to-back games since January the 4th, which is a day short of 3 weeks. So I am going to go with the home underdog New York Knicks here, plus the 3.5 over the Cleveland Cavaliers.
My friend Ross Benjamin saying back the Knickerbockers as the home dog. Let's talk a little college basketball a little later, maybe a nightcap for some of the folks listening in from the East Coast. It's Iowa State, 5-point home favorites as they're taking on the Kansas State Wildcats. How are you going to be betting this one? So we talked the dog. Is there any value on the favorite at home in this one, or how are you going to be betting?
Boy, I tell you what, the Big 12 Conference is one exciting conference to watch. Top to bottom, you'd be hard-pressed to convince me that this isn't the strongest conference in America right now, Dan. Kansas State comes in with a 17-2 record, and their only 2 losses did come in true road games in which they lost by double-digit margins to Butler and TCU. Iowa State has lost 2 of their last 3 to drop to 14-4. Both of those losses occurred on the road. Yet, the 17-2 team is a pretty sizable underdog in this game, against the 14-4 club. Also, Iowa State's a perfect 10-0 at home this year, and their average margin of victory in those 10 home games, how about 24.4 points per contest? And each one of those 10 wins, including all of them against Big 12 competition, have been by 11 points or more. I trust KenPom a lot when it comes to analytics and how they break things down, and they indicate to me that Iowa State right now has the 16th best home court advantage in all of college basketball, and their 10-0 record this year would certainly support that. And also, this is an Iowa State team that's a very experienced ball club, actually the 6th most experienced in all of college basketball. And here's what I think will be the deciding difference, Dan. Kansas State comes in ranked number 278 in defensive rebounding. Conversely, Iowa State is number 35 in offensive rebounding. They're not a great shooting team, Iowa State, but keep in mind their offensive rebounding, like I just alluded to, is terrific. They gather in 34% of their missed shots turn into offensive rebounds and also second chance opportunities. That could certainly wear on a team in the second half. I think that will be the case here. And also Iowa State, strength of schedule, 14th best in America. So they're battle tested. And I'm going to lay the points here with Iowa State minus the 4.5 or 5, whatever you get, over Kansas State.
Yeah, and he has been seeing it well on the hardwood, especially when you're talking about totals in college basketball. How about an 18-7 total run? You can put that in the calculator. It spits out 72%. Ross has been seeing it well. And correct me if I'm wrong, if people head over to your page, sm.buzz/RB, they're going to find one of those total plays posted, and they can get it for just $2, correct?
Yeah, I'm one of the $2 handicappers, our $2 Tuesdays at SportsMemo, along with myself, Joe D'Amico, and I believe Kevin Thomas, and I'm missing the other guy with no disrespect. But my college basketball totals, and I do have a total tonight on that $2 play between Syracuse and North Carolina. Not only 17-7 with my last 24 dating back to last year, but 11-3 with my last 14 this year. Also, my NBA plays, dime bettors are up $14,560 right now with my NBA plays, and my NBA 10-star or 5 and 10-star top plays doing very well as college basketball with those plays at 14-7. So a lot of good things happening at Sports Memo. That $2 pick is great. Jump all over it, folks. Doing real well with the college basketball totals, as I just documented, and all sports in particular. 4-0 last night, and on a pretty good run since December 27th.
You love to see it, and we always love to have Ross Benjamin stopping by here on Sports Memo Today. Head on over, grab that $2 play, sm.buzz/RB, and while you're there, why not up it for $3? And you can grab a 5% play in the AFC from Joe D'Amico. That's in the NFL. He's on a 4-0 NFL sides run. And he's got a play he likes a lot posted for just $2. And then Kevin Thomas has a 5% NHL top of the ticket play. You can get all 3 of those plays for just $5 right at sportsmemo.com. Always love having Ross on, and it is an absolute treat. The reputation preceding our next guest coming up here, as Joe D'Amico gonna shut things down for us as only he can do. You can find him at sm.buzz/JD, and the man who needs no introduction. You just got a nice one there. The chain is looking great, my man. How you been since we last talked?
I am wonderful, Dan. Thanks for having me. I missed not being on the show a while. You know, I do a lot of Sports Memo TV hosting, and my schedule did not open up. I'm glad you can bring me on as I open them. Now, I do want to say something Following Ross Benjamin is not easy either. He's one of the best leadoff. He's the Ricky Henderson of shows. When he leads off, man, you just know you got to bang him around the bases because he got on base. He is not only one of the best handicappers in the history of the sports betting business, he is a damn good-looking guy, too. I mean, you could have put me on after Jesse Schul, so I look even better looking because he's a little funny looking. But following Ross is not easy. Thank you for having me. But things are good, man. Things are great. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. We love having you on, man. And as you mentioned, check out SportsMemo TV. Joe does a terrific job hosting a multitude of shows here. And if you ever just need a little pick-me-up, a little spark plug, a little pep in your step, Joey D brings that every time he's on air. So, man, let's get into it. Let's talk a little NBA tonight. This one, Ross looking at a fascinating game. I think this one even more so. It's the Celtics. They're on the road taking on Miami. It's a back-to-back for them. And we've seen some love for Miami. You know, maybe is it, the streak's finally over for the Celtics. Now the sky is falling. They opened at 1.5. Now the Heat are up to around 3-point favorites. What does Joe D'Amico think? You're looking at these markets. You're in those sports books sometime. Move in those markets. So you agree with the move, or does this just give us a little more value on the dog, Joe?
Well, Dan, outside of my own living room, the place I'm most comfortable with in being is in a Vegas sportsbook. Having said that, I get up very early every morning. As a matter of fact, while farmers and meth cooks are still fast asleep in their beds, Joe D is up and working on games. This morning I got up, you mentioned it, the Celtics were a small dog, 1.5 points. Now, just prior to the show, they went up to a 3-point dog. Now, maybe the general public thinks that they're a little too banged up as they got a few key players listed as questionable for this evening. But I'm here to tell you, don't put any stock in that, my friends. Granted, they failed to cover 3 in a row, but last night's 113-98 embarrassing loss in Orlando tells me this team will bounce back very strongly here. That defeat snapped a 9-game straight-up win streak. Sports fans, this team, they don't take losing lightly. They really could use this win. You know what? Let me rephrase that. They really want this win, especially because of a few reasons. Number one, this game is on national television. Number two, they're playing the Heat, who are a division leader, who they may face down the road in the playoffs. Number three, revenge. I'm Sicilian. I know a lot about revenge, guys. Let's go back to the injured players real quick. Williams, Smart, and Brogdon all question mark here tonight. Early reports are that Williams and Smart will suit up and play. Now, that is unofficial, and always do your due diligence, sports fans, especially in the NBA, where things could change within minutes, let alone hours. My friends, as I said earlier, they need to bounce back this evening. Not only that, but they are one of the best NBA teams when playing unrested. 7-0 straight up, 5-1 ATS the last 7 when playing without rest. And who better to play to get back on track than the Southeast top team, Miami Heat? Miami only 8-15 ATS this season at the Miami-Dade Arena. The Celtics also took 3 in a row, both straight up and against the spread against the Heat until the December 2nd, 120-116 overtime loss at home against them. That was the only meeting this season between these two Eastern Conference rivals. I expect a little revenge factor to play a big part tonight's matchup, folks. My friends, I don't see the Heat, which ranked 30th in the league in scoring, contending with the second-ranked explosive scoring offense of the Celtics here. I look for Boston to win the battle of the boards and to exploit the mismatch of their 8th-ranked 3-point shooting offense over the 26th-ranked 3-point shooting defense of Miami. The Celtics have covered 4 straight in Miami, while the Heat have only covered 8 of the last 29 games played, following a straight-up win. No consistency. Guys, take Boston to bounce back big time here tonight. Take your bookmakers' money. I may be Sicilian, but tonight I'm all Irish, guys.
I got to apologize to my friends at Circa behind me because this wall doesn't stand a chance. I'm ready to run through it after that cap from my man Joey D. And also, for what it's worth, how often do we get to take points with the Celtics? You know, this is now only the 3rd time this season that this team is an underdog, and in the other 2 instances, 2-0 against the spread, 2-0 straight up. So you're giving me points with the Celtics. I like how my man Joe D'Amico is looking in that one. Now we'll see if I like how he's looking as much when we swing on over to the gridiron. You can find out what he likes in the AFC by going over and grabbing his $2 Tuesday play loaded right now. He's on a 4-0 NFL sides run. 5% play posted at sm.buzz/JD right this moment. But in the NFC, a game that I will be up in the 200 level for, screaming my head off for you, Eagles are now up to 2.5-point favorites against the 49ers coming to town. It was that early money, that sharp money when it's right out of the gate, looking at the Eagles laying the 1.5. So it's ticked up a point. We saw some total money come in today. We've been sitting pretty solid at 45.5. We're seeing some 46s out there. So that's at least what's happening in the marketplace. What's happening in the mind of Joe D'Amico? How are you betting the NFC title game?
Well, Dan, I walk it like I talk it. I bet every game I post on SportsMemo. Guys, I am not a general in the back going, go get him, guys, charge. I'm a staff sergeant in the trenches with you, blood, guts, mud. We're going all the way. Now, Dan, I'm fully aware you are an Eagles fan. I'm not looking to hurt your feelings or disrespect any Eagles fans at all. That's not my angle here. But like pulling off a Band-Aid, I'm going to break this game down quick and painless for all those Eagle fans out there. Guys, there's no question in my mind both the 49ers and Eagles deserve to be in the NFC title game. I mean, finally, we can throw away the bones and just eat the meat in an NFC matchup, folks, guys. An enormous amount of Philly's success comes from where? Their ability to run the football. Hence, it comes from their offensive line's ability to manhandle opposing defensive lines. That's not going to be the case here this week, folks. San Fran's defense, they're ranked number 1 in the NFL points allowed, number 1 in total yards allowed, number 2 in stopping the rush. Oh, by the way, they also rank second in the league in takeaways. They snagged 28 turnovers already this season, and there is no way that defensive front is going to get manhandled here this weekend. I'm not looking to take away from the Eagles' offensive line. They are outstanding, but they're just not going to be able to manhandle their opponent here, guys. That is going to seriously stunt their ground game. Jalen Hurts, sorry, sports fans, good quarterback, but I don't think he would have as much success in other systems in the NFL, my friends. I just don't think he's a great quarterback. Big difference, good to great. He's not 100%. I think that's going to play a factor as well. I really feel San Fran's secondary is going to add to their NFL high. 20 INTs this season. He's going to throw some picks, I promise you that. Also, look for Nick Bosa to have one of his best performances of the campaign as he goes up against left tackle Jordan Mailata. I think that's a mismatch, guys. Big mismatch. Now, defensively, Philly is pretty damn good as well. They're tops in the league against the pass. They're ranked 8th in points allowed. They're also pretty darn good as well at snagging takeaways themselves. However, always a big however in the postseason, San Fran doesn't turn the ball over. They don't make a lot of mistakes, guys. Ranked 3rd in the league offense in turning the ball over. Not many mistakes. Now, I keep hearing about how Brock Purdy is a rookie quarterback. Now, I think he's very Purdy, I'll tell you that. Folks, he spent 4 years as a starter in the Big 12, and he was on quite a few big game platforms in those 4 years. And now in the NFL, he's got 7 games under his belt. All, by the way, all victories, my friends. He has matured quite nicely. Being that he is not an experienced quarterback, I'm going to tell you what you're going to see. You're not going to see him try to go above and push plays. He'll tuck it. He'll throw it out. He'll run out of bounds. He will not make mistakes. All right. That sometimes being a less inexperienced quarterback in the NFL pays off because they don't take chances. We've seen last week Josh Allen. Who wants to talk about him? But then again, you can't turn a donkey into a thoroughbred. That's what I got to say about Josh Allen. Let me tell you more about the offense of San Francisco, my friends. Listen, folks, if you're cooking in the kitchen and you've got Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle in the recipe, that's a pretty damn good dinner. But throw it to the mix, Deebo Samuel, and you got the best tasting chili on the planet. I don't feel the Eagles defense will be able to contain every one of those weapons, particularly McCaffrey coming out of the backfield. He's going to be a big reason why San Fran moves the chains here. By the way, folks, Philly has only covered one of the last 6 games played in the month of January. One of the last 5 games played versus NFC opponents. One of the last 5 played overall on the flip side. San Fran, they are money to us bettors. They've covered 20 of the last 26 in the month of January, 20 of the last 26 versus the NFC, and 23 of the last 31 overall. They make you money. Take the points with the 49ers and get paid. Guys, this is not a popularity contest. Sports betting is about who covers, not who wins. And I still think San Fran wins this game outright, but take those points because you will make money with them.
Man, I wanted to be mad. I wanted to come back with some counterpoints, but for some reason I just want to eat chili, and I don't know why. I don't know how that ended up happening there. But hey, he did say he thinks the outright win will happen, but he did tell you take the 2.5. So maybe there's still hope out there. Eagles trailing by 2 points late, a field goal off the foot of Jake Elliott. Then we're all happy. Eagles win. My team's going to the Super Bowl. Joe and his backers are all cashing that plus 2.5. I will say, for what it's worth, if you can stomach taking a potential injury with Pat Mahomes, 49ers in a teaser, Chiefs in a teaser. I mean that's That's some valuable points right there as the case being made for the 49ers, and a strong one there from Joe D'Amico. Hey, you love how he breaks down these games, love how he handicaps. You can grab his play in the AFC for just $2. Or why not commit to him or his wife, Dion D'Amico, a 7-day all access, just $59 using the code PASS7. That's PASS7, and you get 7-day all access from him or the First Lady of Las Vegas for just $59. When people head over to either of your pages, Joe, what kind of stuff are they going to find loaded outside of that $2 Tuesday play that you're pretty pumped up for?
Well, I will tell you, I will have a move on this game that we just broke down on the total. It might be a 10% play. Last year, 19-4, my 10% release is documented at SportsMemo. I'm doing some pretty good work in the NBA. The last 7 weeks, 70% in NBA. Now, guys, sports fans, I'm not a quantity capper. If you want action, follow some of the other cappers, because there are cappers that do very good work putting out a lot of plays. I'm a less is more guy. I'd rather have one wife like Heidi Klum than 100 that look like Rosie O'Donnell. I'd rather go 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 than go 12-10. For me, less stress. I go to bed. I wake up tomorrow winner. Now, on the flip side, if I have a bad day and go 0-1 or 1-2, I'm only 24 hours away from being on the winning side again. So go over to Sports Memo. I have some great discounts there, the best customer appreciation discounts in this business are at Sports Memo. I'm doing some great work. I'm a 6 or 7-time college basketball handicapping champion. This is the time of year where I really step it up. Now, I did lose a game last night. I had Kansas. Didn't think they'd lose 3 in a row. Hope the whole team catches chlamydia, but that's fine. They get chlamydia. They can get an STD shot. They'll get a penicillin shot. They'll clear that up. I don't wish them ill will, just a little bit of an STD. Having said that, guys, I'm very transparent about losses because they stick in my craw a lot more than the wins. You know, I'm sure you can remember every bad date you ever had, but not every good date you've ever had. It's the losses, because they're few and far between for Joe D'Amico. I will tell you this, even my wife, the First Lady of Las Vegas, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, all sports leaderboard fixture over at SportsMemo. She's killing it. So that discount's either good for the First Lady of Las Vegas, Dan D'Amico, or Joe D'Amico. Guys, just follow D'Amico, and you'll follow us to the bank. I promise you that.
You love to see it, and also cash the big dog ticket on the first mention of chlamydia here on Sports Memo Today. That's the juice that we get brought to the show by Joe D'Amico. And of course, want to remind you, check out all the great programs that we have here at Sports Memo TV, and of course, Wager Talk TV as well. Hit that little bell so you never miss any of them, and you can never miss what we're dropping here on Sports Memo Today. Again, that AFC 5% play, a Ross Benjamin 4-star college basketball total, and a 5% NHL top of the ticket play from Kevin Thomas can be yours, just $5 over at sportsmemo.com. If you like the show, I already told you, just hit that like button, hit that little bell so you never miss it, and that's going to do it for us. So for Ross Benjamin, for Joe D'Amico, for Eric, our producer, doing a terrific job as always behind the scenes, I'm Dan Alexander, and we will see you Thursday right here on Sports Memo Today.